Diagnosis Help by Vetaid. To obtain diagnosis help on Vetaid, 3 entries are available. Entry number 4 offers diagnosis assistance after a complete examination of the patient. Entry number 5 is built to give you diagnosis help as quickly as possible. Vetaid always starts by specifying the type of sick cattle. Vetaid has classified all milk drinkers into calves, up to weaning, which may be late. Then Vetaid asks you for the call sign. This choice of the call sign is essential to properly adapt the patient's examination to the problem at hand. Some warning signs are unequivocal. For a bovine that drools or has difficulty eating, for digestive problems, udder problems, or for all the first call signs on the list, the choice is easy and clear. For others, it is more delicate, because some can overlap. A locomotor problem or an impossible rising up can be of nervous origin. Vetaid has provided for these overlapping situations in its formulas, but you should adjust your choice as best you can. The warning signs, like decreased appetite after calving and abnormally lean cattle, are a bit of a catch-all with no real clinical basis. You should only use them if the patient does not have any of the other signs above, which all have a more solid clinical basis. But in practice, do remember that if you cannot clearly specify all the symptoms of your patient, you may not have chosen the right call sign. If necessary, try to describe your patient with another call sign. The case of the patient who does not present a call sign is also suggested. It works for all diseases, but reserve its use for patients who really do not show any of the warning signs on the list. When a call sign is present, do use it. The diagnosis with complete examination makes you review all the examinations to be done for the problem posed. If you forgot any of them, you will realize it right away. With the rapid diagnosis, Vetaid also starts with 3 or 4 essential questions. But to go faster, Vetaid asks you to select only the areas of the body where you have seen symptoms. Only report symptoms seen on selected diseased areas. By going to this icon at the top, you can always review the symptoms entered and modify them. With both tools, when you have finished reporting the symptoms, the result is displayed on its own. It shows you the possible suspicions with a score calculated for each. This score is displayed if you made the diagnosis with the full examination. Do not attach any medical importance to the value of this percentage. It is but a simple guide to assess the strength of your suspicion. The more you report really typical signs of the disease, the higher this score. This score never expresses a probability of encountering the disease, but a proximity to the disease in its typical form. Vetaid's suggestions put frequent and rare diseases on the same level. It's you, on site, who will judge the value of these suggestions. Alerts on the results page can draw your attention to zoonoses, diseases belonging to the categories of the World Organization for Animal Health. It also draws your attention to inconsistencies which can call into question the diagnosis of suspicion. Vetaid suggests it is up to you in the field to judge. A click on the sign plus will open the toolbox to help you resolve the suspicion. You can see your patient's symptoms that tally with the disease, or more importantly, those which do not tally, in order to fill them in if necessary. If you report the symptoms seen on the teats, even afterwards, the blue tongue score will improve accordingly. You can also compare the suspected diseases with each other. You can see the differential diagnosis in an original schematic form that will guide you to the most likely disease. You can also see related diseases not suspected by Vetaid, but which share with your patient at least one predictive symptom. So-called incomplete suspicions appear next on the results screen. As a symptom is missing from these so-called incomplete suspicions for it to become a real suspicion, Vetaid offers you to complete the formula if possible. Finally, other possible avenues are suggested. They are particularly useful when the system has not found more solid suspicions. In order for these leads to become real suspicions, they must absolutely be explored further. Complete the typical signs seen but not reported. If your opinion is made, a click on the sign I and the memo sheet will open to help you take action. Entry number 6 gives you the opportunity to give an opinion on a diagnosis that you have made by yourself. Indicate the key symptoms on which your opinion is based, and Vetaid will give you its opinion on that diagnosis. With experience, you will gain speed and you will know how to select the front doors that best suit your question at that moment. And don't forget that you can save a case with all its details to keep or send on to a colleague. You can take a photo and add your comments, or call in an expert practitioner for problematic diseases. With Vetaid, you will never be alone in rural practice again.